Right. Well, it's well known that the economy really impacted voters' decision making when it came to choosing a president.
We saw Wall Street react positively to former President Trump's victory today. Financial expert Darius Irani from Towson University is joining us now live. Thank you, Mr. Irani, for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
We understand. What is your takeaway from today's stock market uptick? What's your takeaway from that?
Well, obviously, the business community vis-a-vis the corporations feel very strongly about the Trump victory. They view the opportunity that there will likely be some tax cuts, which will impact their bottom line, and therefore their stock prices should increase going forward.
And, obviously President Trump's economic agenda is quite different from President Biden's. What can Americans expect to see change quickly when President Trump takes office?
Well, he sort of announced on the campaign trail that he would impose tariffs. We will likely see a reimposition of more tariffs, which could have an impact on household goods and services, everything from your imported automobiles to even domestically produced automobiles, which use imported parts in their final production. To perhaps even a trade war. So perhaps farmers will see that they can no longer sell their soy or corn to China, as they may have preventative tariffs in place. So I believe he did this in his first term, and we did see there were some increases in some prices, but we also saw that farmers primarily lost a lot of their agricultural markets.
Well, obviously, you've touched a little bit on this already, and we see the changes already this morning. What other long-term changes are you looking at that the American public should be looking at as well?
So on the campaign trail, President Trump did announce that he would like to do some deportations or even sort of minimize the flow of undocumented individuals into the U.S. That could have a significant impact on our labor force. Right now in Maryland, 20% of our workforce is immigrants. Oftentimes they take the dirty, dull, and dangerous jobs. So if indeed we see a slowdown or even a reduction in those individuals, it could really affect many businesses in the area, as well as many businesses across the country. So that's probably, you may begin to see that if he's successful at his programs. Again, tariffs, we might see some bump up in prices, but we also might see some slowdown in trade, especially in agricultural goods.
All right, and the stock market's up today in response to former President Trump's win. Some people, will make emotional decisions, try to jump in and catch up with the market. I know that's not really the advice from economic experts. Do you have any advice for regular, everyday consumers? I mean, what should they be doing? What should they be thinking about ahead as this term is coming up?
Well, I mean, this is a difficult, right? So, over half the country strongly supported him. So they will continue to support him. And again, one shouldn't really be making too many financial decisions or short-term decisions based upon the presidency. Again, as we saw in the President Trump's last term, we had a COVID outbreak, which wreaked havoc on the economy. So again, the presidency is probably not a good barometer of the financial health of the country. But that being said, I believe that the election of a Republican president probably encouraged the stock market to rise, given the fact that there's probably going to be some tax cuts down the road for many of these corporations.
All right, Darius Irani, thank you so much for joining us and helping us out sort through some of those economic things too.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You too.